I gave a girl the worst news of her life, but she cried happy tears. I'm a nurse in a small-town hospital. We're not a big city place with endless staff or fancy equipment, just a small emergency wing where everyone knows everyone. It was Christmas Eve when we got the call. A teenage girl, 16 years old, had been hit by a drunk driver. Her name was Lily. The paramedics said it didn't look good. She'd been walking home from church with her mom when the car jumped the curb. Her mom made it out with a few broken ribs, but Lily was in bad shape. When they wheeled her in, she was pale, barely conscious, whispering for her mom over and over. There was blood on her face, glass in her hair, and one of her shoes was missing. Her left leg looked crushed. I'd seen some awful things before, but this felt different. She was so young, so small, and it was Christmas. I helped the trauma team hook her up to monitors while one of the surgeons shouted for more blood. It was chaos for hours. I remember the clock ticking past midnight, carol music faintly playing from a radio in the waiting room, and the smell of coffee mixed with antiseptic. The surgeon came out just before dawn and gave me a tired look. He said, "We saved her, but she lost the leg." I knew I'd be the one to tell her. Her mom was still in another room, recovering from surgery. So when Lily woke up, I sat beside her bed. She was hooked to tubes, her face pale but awake. She tried to move her leg, then froze when she couldn't feel it. That was the hardest moment of my life. I told her gently what happened, that her leg couldn't be saved. For a second, she didn't move, just blinked at the ceiling. Then tears started sliding down her cheeks. I felt like I'd broken her heart. I reached for her hand, and she grabbed mine tightly. I was ready for the screaming, the anger, the grief, but then she did something I'll never forget. She smiled. It was small, weak, but real. And then she laughed, a shaky, broken laugh that made no sense to me. I thought maybe she was in shock, but she whispered, "So, I still get to live?" I just nodded, and that's when she started crying again. But this time it was different. They were happy tears. A few hours later, her mom was brought to her room. When she saw Lily awake, she broke down completely. They hugged for what felt like forever. I tried to give them privacy, but before I left, Lily's mom stopped me. She told me something that hit me like a brick. Last Christmas Eve, exactly 1 year before the accident, Lily's dad had died in a car crash. Same road, same date. He'd been driving home from work when a drunk driver hit him head-on. She said Lily had been terrified of cars ever since, but that night, she told her mom she wanted to face her fear, to walk home and make peace with the road. When I went back later that night to check on her, the room was dark except for the glow of the Christmas lights someone had hung around the window. Lily was awake, staring outside, whispering something to herself. I asked if she needed anything, and she said softly, "I was just thanking him." "Thanking who?" I asked. "My dad," she said. "He must have been watching. He didn't let me go." I didn't know what to say. I just stood there for a minute, trying not to cry. She'd lost her leg, her dad, her sense of normal, but somehow, she found something to hold on to. A few weeks later, Lily came back to the hospital for a follow-up. She was walking with a prosthetic, slower than before, but standing tall. She handed me a small snow globe with a Christmas tree inside and said, "For saving my Christmas." It still sits on my desk. Every time I look at it, I remember her laugh. That moment she cried happy tears after I gave her the worst news of her life. And I realize now that sometimes surviving is the miracle.